Katie, can you, you're recording this, so can you mute everybody, please?
Yes, I am.
So as we get started, I don't know if there's anybody on here, there's 2 pages of you that needs an interpreter. But if there is, we have Lupe Jamaica, and she's going to tell you what to do to get to be able to be have interpretation translation for you. Go ahead, Lupe.
Si alguien necesita intérprete, por favor déjeme saber y puede hacer las preguntas por chat al igual. Nora, yo sé que usted está encadenada con nosotros. We have Nora Moreno as one of them.
Okay. Katie Maria Martinez needs to be muted too. Okie dokie. Very good. Okay, so you're going to do that. You're going to do that in the chat, you said? Is that what I heard? Okay, got it.
And Lupe, I think I just added one more person, Mrs. Padilla.
Okay, you want to tell Mrs. Padilla?
Recording.
Vanessa,
You want to mute Cynthia?
Trying.
Okay. Go ahead, Lupe. Tell Mrs. Padilla how you're going to translate for her.
Vanessa, si me escuchas, si tienes preguntas, déjamelo saber por chat y yo te contesto las preguntas.
Okay. All right. So we are going to get started. And then we'll just let Lupe do her thing. So we're here just to answer your questions about the school starting and giving you some information. There is a link that went out on Remind. If you're on Remind, if you're new to us, Remind will be an extremely important app for you to get and sign up for because so much goes through that. But I will also have Katie put it in the chat box so you can get it again. But it has a lot of first day information about times and bus stops and all of that. Some of you may have already seen it, so we can answer those questions. But we're really here just to kind of answer your questions and tell you what to do. But we will start with a couple things that I know are important to you that I have received lots of questions for, as hopefully you saw my post on this group about the board's decisions last night. We still are encouraging masking, but we are not asking our teachers to use their time to enforce it.
No, you're not.
Andrea, do you want to mute yourself, please? Which means that we have 2 people not muted. Yeah, which means that your kids will not be in trouble. However, there are people that feel strong both ways. There are people that are still concerned and wear masks. So on this campus, nobody will be teased for either way that you go, including staff and adults on the campus. If there are parents that are concerned and they want their child to wear a mask, and there's some kids that wear masks in that class, the teachers may group those kids together so that you know that you're with another masked kid. We may, for some, get a second protective layer so that you are feeling comfortable. Okay, so both are important to us, but please know that if you go back to the group page that you got this link to, please read what the board approved, and that will help explain that to you. The other thing is in classroom, there is, go ahead. Somebody have a question? Oh, that's Robin, needs to be. So there are recommendations by CDC. That is not a mandate. The mandate is for wearing masks. However, a school gets to decide how they're going to enforce it. And the board decided they want your staff to concentrate on educating your kids and working with their social emotional learning and working on that aspect of it first. So that is probably the number one thing. That is for now, just like anything else. I know we thought we got out of this whole flexibility thing. If we have too many positive cases in a class or on campus, or they take away the part that says we have a right to enforce it, the board policy may change. So just please know that. We would keep you posted if that was going to happen and we had another board meeting, we would let you know. If distancing, closure, any of that happened, we would let you know. The other thing is we did not get away from contact tracing. So that means if your kid has symptoms and we do not on file have anything from your doctor that says your kid
Elizabeth,
has,
how do I turn the audio up on the computer? Up.
and we don't have anything on file that says your kid has a runny nose and a persistent cough or an upset stomach. They don't have to tell us that they have irritable bowel or allergies or whatever. They just need to tell us what the symptoms are and that they are usually between this time and this time. For instance, I have a reaction to when the walnuts are being shook. And so from September to October, I usually have a lot of allergy issues. I don't have to tell anybody that I have allergy issues. My doctor would just need to say that Terry has a runny nose, a persistent cough, a headache, during not COVID related, during September and October, or it could be all year. I mean, you live in the valley, so people have allergies. But if not, your kid could be quarantined. If your kid is quarantined and with symptoms, but they have no symptoms after 24 hours without medicine, they could be able to come back. It just depends on each individual situation. If your kid has been exposed, then they will be quarantined for 10 days and put on independent study for 10 days. Independent study could look different for each teacher. Some independent studies may be like the old independent study with packets. Some may have check into the classroom at this time and then work on Google Classroom. It could be a variety. Each one of your teachers will explain that at the beginning at your orientation. If they don't hit that, ask them. All right. Independent study for this year has changed as far as short term for trips and for medical reasons. So please be aware of that. If you have questions about that, ask. But you can't be taking 3 and 4 trips any longer on independent study. You will get one time this year, up to 5 days. After that, it will be an unexcused absence. If it's for medical reasons, that's a little bit different, or quarantine. Okay, that can be up to 14 days. As far as school starting, we start Wednesday. Can you believe it? Wednesday. That just seems kind of ridiculous already. We're starting on Wednesday. Kindergarten parents and first grade parents will be allowed on campus to walk your kid to class to get that first day experience that you missed out on last year. You can't go into the classroom, but you will be able to walk them to class, take your picture, do all that, and then you will need to leave. That will only be able to happen on Wednesday. So please know that. After that, the pickup and the drop off will be pretty much like last year. I'll have Mrs. Gisk go over where they are. But parents, we're going to ask parents not to come on campus to volunteer, probably at least until October. And it has nothing to actually do with spreading COVID or any of that, even though without masks, that's a good idea. Really, it's to allow the students and the staff to get used to 5 days a week, full days. You realize we haven't done that for 1.5 years. We have not been on campus 5 days a week for the full day. And so just the added of having volunteers in class and on campus makes it a little bit different. And then you add on top of that, the board's decision about mask. We want the kids to be on campus. We don't want to quarantine them. We don't want to go back to distance learning. So we just all feel that it's in the best interest just to keep it as limited as possible. Sundell is going back to extracurricular activity and sports. So
Terry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We have a question, Haley.
Haley. Go ahead, Haley, you can unmute, yeah.
Okay, my question is, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. My two boys, it's their first year on Sun campus. How will they know where to go? Will there be someone to show them where their classroom is? Because
Yes.
they have no
Yeah, so
clue.
Yeah.
Mrs. Gist and I and Mr. Garcia and Mrs. Espindola, who are our counselors, as well as some aides, will be around on campus.
Sorry,
So if
it's
you
cutting out.
cutting out. So yes, we will have staff members. So if you park your car and walk your kids up to where their time is, where their gate is that they're going to come in, just tell the person at the thing they don't know where they're going, and then we'll have somebody walk them. Okay. And then the same is on the way back. We'll be doing that for the first 3 days with everybody, and then we'll concentrate on just kindergarten first. Okay, good. Okay. Anybody else up to this point?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
So on the first day, we're allowed to drop them off on campus. Are we allowed to go on campus to pick them up as well, or is that just drop off?
Just drop off, just for TK, kindergarten, and first graders, because they didn't get that first experience that parents like to have with their kids and take the picture and all that. So it's just that grade level for that purpose. That's the only reason we're doing it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Terry,
Yes.
is it allowed that if, between now and the first day of school, so like Monday or Tuesday next week, could parents come on campus and show their kids where their classrooms are? Campus?
Well, teachers are back on campus. I would prefer you to do it this week, if you could. Monday
Saturday-
and Tuesday.
Saturday would also be
Saturday's
if
a
you're,
work day, if you
if
want to
you're
come out on
here
the
for the
work day and
workday.
do that. But yeah, actually,
Thinking
Cam,
for the parents that are new to Sundell, if they could come on campus prior to the first day of
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
show them
this
walk
week would be a
around.
really good week for you to come on campus and show them the work day. We have a work day on Saturday from 8 to 11. Where we spruce up the campus. We had an RSVP for food, so we've already ordered the food, but you're still welcome to come. I don't know if I'll have enough food if we get a ton more people, but you could show them then. We'll be on campus. Mrs. Biangone, Cindy, myself, some board members, so we could show you around as well.
And Mrs. Ruppert, I would be welcome on Saturday if we have a lot of new parents and families to give you kind of a little campus tour.
Yeah.
On Saturday towards the end of the workday. If anyone's interested, just let me know, and then I can arrange for that on Saturday as well. And maybe we can go by some classrooms and show your children where their classes are.
Yeah. And if you don't know, the Monday we have a staff meeting. So, I would say anywhere, anytime between like 8 and 12, you can come on campus, but we won't have anybody available to show you around. So if you're new and you don't know where you're going, then that would be the
Well, the
that would be
teacher,
my issue.
the teacher names are on the top of
They are.
on the doors. Is there a certain gate they would have to go through to get on campus if they were to come?
The main gate here. The main gate. The main gate, when I say here, is for where the office is. There's a big gate that has an arch that says Sundell Excellence and all that. It's that gate that has an arch over it. So Saturday would be an excellent time. Parents are welcome. We're going to be cleaning. We're going to be doing all kinds of things. We could show you around. So
Janice is asking if they'll be told their child's classroom number. We have updated our school map, so I will upload it here. It's not yet on our website, so you guys will be seeing it first, but I'll upload it on here, and you already know you should already know your child's teacher, and then you can find the classroom on there.
Don't share that out only because of protecting your kids. So I don't necessarily want that on our regular Facebook page. That's just for you to use. And we could have a couple that are maybe a table, Katie or Cindy, maybe a table outside the office where they have some maps on. So if you come on campus, so if you're going to come on campus, come on Monday. If you're going to come next week, Monday 8 to 12 or after 3 o'clock, Tuesday 8 to 12 or after 3 o'clock. Okay. Only reason being is the teachers need to get their rooms done. It has nothing to do with COVID. The teachers need to get the room done. And if you come on campus and start talking to them, it's going to delay them in preparing. So when they're in meetings, you can come on because they're not in their rooms. So does that make sense? Understand that part? But Saturday is a perfect day, or this week's okay too.
And as far as the question, Cheyenne, regarding the after-school program, the teachers will guide them on where to go after school if they're heading straight to the after-school program. Okay, that first day of school. So we kind of group the kids, bus kids, pick up kids, after-school program, and then we make sure they get to the proper locations.
Sports look good. We have sports going. All our after-school curricular, spelling bee, all of that looks good. We are planning on field trips. As of today, as you guys have heard me say in the past, and those of you who are new to this year, as of today, field trips look good, but we do live in an odd world today, so I don't know, but we're planning on it. Yes, Miss Jamaica.
To be able to go help out on a Saturday, do they need to sign up for it?
Have them call the office and sign up. You can come. It's just that we had so many people sign up, so we only bought so much food. So okay.
There's a question about the morning and afternoon care. Any specific questions you have, you can email Louisa Pedro at the foundation. I know that the morning care opens at 7:15, and I know that they had pre-registration set up, but you can contact the foundation office. And I don't know, Katie, if you have that number, if you can put it in the chat, or Louisa's email address. There you go. And
Yeah,
Mrs. Cunha is a new second grade teacher. There's a question from someone on that. Mrs.
Right, before you go
Cunha
there, you've skipped it. So go back to how will the kids in the after-school program know where to go after school's let out?
Yeah, I addressed that. The teachers will guide them. We have 8th grade students that come down to the lower grade students' classrooms and assist with that, but also teachers kind of group the kids and ensure that they get walked over to the after-school program.
Eating breakfast, is trying to be eating breakfast. I will be there to help take them to, okay. Thank you, Mallory. Okay, those are all those questions. Any other questions before we move on to the next? No? Okay, so at this time, I'm gonna have Mrs. Gist kind of talk to you about your drop off and pickup spots and the times.
All right, so you might want to take note. It also, I indicated where these spots are in the YouTube video that Katie sent out earlier, but just in case, because we might have gone through that a little bit quickly. And this map is also on that Katie just shared. TK through first, so TK second, kinder and first will be in the express lane, and I think Katie's kind of highlighting that there. So the express lane, which is, we call it the express lane, it's near the bus barn, it's at the front parking area, and we call it express because we want it to be quickly for pickup and drop off to pull through and to ensure that your child is ready. And they'll get out of the vehicle once they're at the front of the gate. And then with pickup also, you can choose to park in the parking lot. And with drop off also, you can park and then walk your child to the gate. That might be faster in order to get your child picked up, or you can choose to stay in the line of cars and just follow until you get to the front in order to pick up your child. 2nd and 3rd grade will be at the multipurpose room, both dropped off and picked up at the multipurpose room. So some of you might already be familiar with that. So you'll come through the sports complex entrance and just snake around with the cars to the front of the multipurpose room. And I would recommend that you exit where it indicates exit there on our map for safety reasons, just to eliminate extra traffic at the sports complex exit area. 4th and 5th grade, you will drop them off at the multipurpose room, but pick them up at the express lane, which is near the bus barn. So 4th and 5th have two locations, the drop-off location at the multipurpose room, the pickup location at the express lane. 6th grade will be dropped off at the sports complex and picked up at the multipurpose room. 7th and 8th are both dropped off and picked up at the sports complex. Now, keep in mind, if you have an 8th grader and a 6th grader, you may, well, that's not a good example. If you have a 4th grader and an 8th grader, you may choose to drop them off at the multipurpose room or the sports complex. If you have a kindergartner and a 6th grader, you can choose to drop them both off at the express lane where your kindergartner is being dropped off at. All right, and the reason behind the separation is to kind of help you guys out with traffic and safety. So it might be confusing, but I think once we get going and you get used to where your locations are, it should work out fine. Between Ms. Rufert and I and Mr. Garcia will be out there along with our staff who are on duty trying to help with the traffic. But just want to remind you, and if you've been a Sundale parent in the past, to be patient as you're coming into the parking lot, and knowing that we're working hard to keep everybody safe. We avoid having our students walking out into the parking lots. So with the 7th and 8th grade pickup, they're older children, but we do have the 2 lanes of traffic that'll be coming in. Miss Penny will be out there and helping to guide the students as they're walking across to enter into the vehicle. So if you were part of Sundale last year and we're picking up students in the back parking lot, it'll be similar to what we had last year.
Mrs. Gist, Kristen wants to know, how will the kids know what bus? Is it the same bus stop, or how will they know, like in the morning?
Yes, so Katie and Sean Burkike will be emailing out before the first day of school what bus number your child is going to be on, and what time and what location. So that'll all be sent out to you via email. In addition, our kindergarten students will, the teachers will have that information, and it'll be on their name tag labels that they'll have on them. So we ensure that they get on the right bus.
We are doing breakfast in the morning. And so Ms. Gist, how early can they be here for breakfast?
7:45. So if your students are riding the bus, they'll get off the bus and just remind them to head straight to breakfast. If they forget and they get in the classroom, and especially the little ones, they might say, I forgot to go eat breakfast. We'll take care of them, so don't worry about that. But encourage them when they get off the bus to go straight to the cafeteria. If you're dropping off, same thing. But they can be dropped off at 7:45 to start eating breakfast. And then 8:10, the first bell rings. And we'd like to have them wrapped up with breakfast so we can get them to class on time. And our cafeteria staff, I think Mrs. Rufert mentioned, Mallory had indicated, between Mallory and Leslie, they will ensure that all the students get to their designated class from the cafeteria.
And we will also have people at the bus stop, at the bus, so they will ask, do you need to go eat breakfast too for the first, at least for the first week, and then we'll figure out if we need it the next week. Okay. Okay, any more questions about bus or time? Okay, did you talk about pickup?
I indicated the pickup locations. Does anyone have questions on that? And do keep in mind that TK through 3rd is dismissed Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 12, and 4th through 8 at 12:45. The email you got for your orientation indicated 12:30, but it's 12:45. And
what is it normally, Mrs. Gist?
For TK through 3rd, it is 2:10, and for 4th on up, it's 3:15. Although, make sure to take a look at our calendar, because we do have our Mondays through the fall until Thanksgiving break that the students are dismissed 1 hour early. So that'll start August 9th, and it'll be every Monday. So TK through 3rd will be 1:10, and 4th through 8th will be 2:15.
Put that calendar somewhere where you can see it on a regular basis. Yes, Tracy.
If we have an older, like I have a 7th grader and a first grader, if my first grader, like the 2nd and 3rd day or that following Monday, is a little apprehensive about where to go, can my 7th grader walk her to class, or is that allowed?
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. That'll help solve a lot of tears, I'm sure, the first couple of days.
Yep. Any other questions about drop off, pick up time? No. So if you need to come on campus, after the kids get on campus, you will come through that front gate, just like when we were all closed up. All of our gates will still be up and around. The link fence, eventually when the gate comes in and we have time, it will be replaced with a nicer fence. So that'll be more permanent, but come through the front gate and come right to the office. You will not have a table in front of the office anymore. You will actually be able to come into the office and talk to our office staff. But as far as coming on campus to wait to pick up your kid, you're gonna have to wait on the outside for that, okay? What else do we need to cover? I think that's it. Anybody have any questions? Oh, we have computer checkout, Miss Katie.
Yes, so Chromebooks will be available for checkout on the day of your orientation. We ask that you please go, if you would like to check one out, to please go do that after your orientation time. Chromebooks will now be checked out for a period of up to 3 years. So if they are a 7th grader, it would be for 2 years. If they're an 8th grader, it would be for 1 year. For all other students, it would be for up to 3 years. Homework may or may not be assigned on the computer. However, if there's an instance where your child needs to be quarantined for any reason, and you do not have a device at home that they could use, I do recommend being proactive and checking out a device at the beginning of the year. If you don't think that you'll need one, you do not need to check one out if you guys have devices at home.
I do want to remind you, if you haven't watched the YouTube video, is to keep in mind of our dress code. I know during Zooms and COVID, some of us got pretty comfortable, and us as adults as well. And so I just do want to remind you, I highlighted a few areas that we find most often that kids are not following dress code, and that's with the ripped jeans, which we do not allow, the shorter shorts. Unfortunately, it seems to be more with girls. But the shorter shorts, and so our short requirement is 4-inch inseam or mid-thigh. The straps that maybe aren't 2 inches in width. Obviously backless shoes, that's something I did not note on the YouTube, but it's all in our dress code in the student handbook. So keep that in mind. Also, no cell phones, smartwatches. If they're seen, that they can be confiscated and parents would have to pick them up. So just a few reminders, because we have been kind of away from the normal for a while.
Katie, when again was that? When are the kids able to pick up Chromebooks again? I'm sorry, I caught the end of that.
On the day of your orientation. So after you finish
Okay.
orientation, head over to Computer Lab 2. If you returned to Chromebook last year, it's the same location, Computer Lab 2 in the middle school wing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'm sure she said it, but that's a 3-year checkout. So you don't have to turn it back in at the end of the year unless you leave us.
Melissa.
I put it down $750 unless before.
No, underneath that one. So Melissa asked if they needed to have lunch money on their accounts. No, they do not. Lunch will be free.
Yeah.
And breakfast.
So one of the papers that you will fill out, you have to automatically fill it out. It's for free and reduced lunch. Don't ask me why, but we will be, everybody will be getting free and reduced lunch. So I want you to hear me carefully. So y'all pay taxes, I assume. Could be, you know what assume means, but I assume you all pay taxes. So part of your taxes is paying for the free and reduced, or the free lunches. So please do not feel bad about having your kid take advantage of it. You are paying for it anyway. Just not paying for it directly, just paying it through taxes. So, Leslie and Mallory and the staff are very adamant, even during the COVID time. They wanted to give the kids good meals that they like. They don't like to buy the cheap stuff. So I think as long as they're there, they'll continue to do that.
We may have mentioned this, but if not, if we have, I'm sorry. I just wanted to remind you guys that we are having before school recess. So Mrs. Rufford had indicated in the chat that 7:50 is the earliest time for students to be dropped off, and they can go straight to their playground. And then the bell will ring at 8:10, and then they'll go line up for class, and we'll help get them to where they need to go. But I know that's different than where we were this last year. We weren't having the morning recess. So that is back to normal with morning recess.
They can play on the playground structures. There will be, the playgrounds aren't all separated either, so they can just play. Okay. Any questions, any concerns?
I have a question.
Sure.
So for orientation, do teachers want our students that are child with us or without?
It's really up to you. I think most teachers would encourage you to bring your child. Then that way both of you are hearing the same thing, and there might be some things that they would like to show their students also with the parent there. So it's really up to you, Brandy, whatever's most convenient, but I would encourage you to bring your child with you.
And then Heidi has her hand raised with a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Yes, in the spring of 2019, I paid $200 before spring break, hoping that would take my lunch through the end of the school year. And then spring break never really happened because all of our kids are at home. And so I should still have a $200 credit with you guys. Is this free lunch lasting all year? Can I get that $200 eventually, or should I just leave it on the books?
You know, you can do whatever you want. You can call Anne Marie to deal with it, because it looks like what they passed. I mean, things are always open to change, but it looks like we're going to do it this year, but it looks like mandatory. It's going to be a mandatory thing that we offer it in 22-23. Is that correct? I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
it's going to be at least this year in 22-23, 23-24. I don't know, but at least for 2 years. So it's really up to you. But then call Anne Marie and or in the office, and we can take care of that.
Okay, thank you.
You can put it on my lunch. No. Adults still have to pay. Anybody else? Heidi, do you have another question? You just didn't put down your hand. Oh, okay. All right, Ms. Biango, do you have anything else that we need to, that you think?
I just want to say this year we will be moving more so towards paperless. So at the beginning of the year, that nice big envelope that you would get full of paperwork, you will not be getting that this year. Instead, you will be getting 6 sheets of paper, 4 of which are just some informational things, and 2 items are forms. Everything else will be available through Aries. Aries will be opened up for edits starting on Friday. And I will also send on Friday more information. A few parents have asked today about a tutorial on Aries. And so I will put something together tomorrow and hopefully have that ready to send out along with the information on Friday for everybody to start accessing Aries and start completing the beginning of the year paperwork. Hard copies are available by request only from the office. We will not be handing them out unless they are requested.
Mrs. Gist, any last things you have to say?
Nope, I just want to remind all of you guys to communicate with either myself or Mrs. Ruffert if there are any concerns or any suggestions that you guys have. Even though you can't volunteer on campus does not mean that we don't want to talk to you. And you guys have done a great job in the past with this. Email us, give us a call, let us know if there's any concerns, or if you're concerned about your child, Mrs. Ruffert and I are known to go into the classrooms, check on them, and give you a call and let you know all is good, just to reassure you that things are well. So just keep us in the line of communication with you if there's anything that you need.
Communication is a key.
Mrs. Ruffert, because I think you hit masks very first. Can you reiterate the mask ruling by the board last night?
So the board is going to encourage masking, but not have our staff bogged down with enforcing it. So the mask will be encouraged, but if your child is not going to wear a mask, they're not going to be kicked out or go to missed recess or any of that. We're going to make sure that kids aren't teased for wearing masks or not wearing masks. And if parents are really concerned, call me and we'll talk about your in the classroom, how we can make you feel more safe. Okay. Some of you were there last night. Anything you want to add to that I missed? No.
If anybody, due to this board decision, has changed their mind and are interested in independent study, there are requirements that must be met. But if you are interested, please let the office know as soon as possible. If we do not hear from you by noon on Friday, we will assume that your child will be attending in person starting the next week. So we will open that back up for any last minute people since the board has made their decision regarding masks.
Parents, you've done a really good job as far as the Sundell staff, parents, community, and kids. Based on what I've seen on some other sites as far as social media, done a really good job about being respecting everybody's differences and opinions. And on our social media site, one of the reasons I keep this up and I keep doing this is because you guys, whether you agree or not, you're respectful of somebody else's point of view. And it's very obvious that's why we have kids with such great character. You know, starts at home, and then we're just here to support it and encourage it. And so thank you very much, because I do get to talk to other superintendents, and I really do appreciate being passionate about something, and speaking your mind is different than being hateful and mean and name calling. So very, very much appreciate it. Parents that came last night or the board meeting before, thank you for your passion and your understanding. And for some of you, the decision probably went the way you want it to, and for some of you it did not. That's kind of what happens sometimes, but please know that we are here to discuss anything that you want. Remember that Cindy and I have an open door policy, which means if you need to talk to us and we're free, you don't have to make another appointment, or you can. All right. We're excited to have your kiddos on campus, excited to have a full day. Won't have a full day the second week, but I expect that your kids are going to be exhausted. I suggest that if you haven't started practicing, you start getting your kids up earlier and going to bed earlier. That's just in any regular school year. For those of you that had kids in school for a while, they tend to change their hours in the summertime, and then trying to get them back on schedule sometimes is a hard thing. So
yeah, and with that too, Mrs. Ruffert, just keep in mind that, you know, the dismissal time for 4th through 8th is 12:45, which is for those children later than what they normally would eat lunch on a regular school day. So don't hesitate to send them with a snack if you choose to do that. And then I know that we're going to be providing snacks for our kinders and our TK classes if they don't have a snack, because it is a long time. 12 o'clock is, they normally eat lunch at 11:10 on a normal day. So just keep that in mind if you choose to send your child with a snack.
As far as sports, can you watch sports? Yes, you can. So don't think because we're not having you come on for a school that you can't come on campus. It's mostly just for us just to get back into the regular schedule. I mean, I know people may think, what's the big deal? It's going to be a big deal. People are going to be tired. So just know that. Okay. All right. One last time. Anybody have any question? Any question at all? You got Cindy, Katie, and I here. What's going to happen in the world tomorrow? I have no idea. New parents, welcome, welcome to Sundell. Hope you love it as much as we do. And please know that there will be a time that you can get on campus, you can get involved, you can be here. We love parent volunteers. We love our parent volunteers. We miss you so much, so very, very, very much. So know that we are eager to get you back on campus and be here and be a part of it. And so we will work on that the best that we can.
Just very quickly, Mrs. Ruffert, one of the questions, Brittany.
Let me finish this first. Wait, let me finish this first. We do have PTO. You can still get involved in PTO and school site council, Dad's Club. There's lots of different ways to still get involved, and they still have their meetings. They'll do it through Zoom and also on campus. So you will come on campus for that. We probably won't even have a field trip before September. So when that happens, we will also need parent volunteers once we start our trips, when those start happening. So there are ways of still getting involved. So go ahead, Mrs. Gist.
Yeah, and with that too, our PTO will be putting out notification for room parents. So if you're interested in that, please look for that information to come out from our PTO probably later in August. But I did want to answer Brittany's question. Drop off for TK the first day of school. You can walk your TK child to the classroom only on Wednesday. Otherwise, it's dropped off, or your child can be dropped off at the express lane, which is near the bus barn.
Thank you for the nice comments in the chat. You are all very welcome. It is our deepest pleasure to have your kids, and thank you for sharing them with us. And thank you for being patient for, gosh, 1.5 years, and still coming back and not leaving California and still being part of Sundell School. So we are very excited, but thank you guys very much.
I do have a question. I just registered my son 6th grade, and I was just wondering when I would find out when his orientation was.
You should have already received the email. It was sent out last week. If you did not, I will put my email in the chat, and if you can just shoot me an email and I will check for it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and email you today.
Actually, you know what? Pedro is now ringing a bell. Did you like just register?
Yeah,
Yep,
just
you're on
today.
you're on my to-do list. You're on my to-do list for tomorrow.
Okay, not a problem. I'll wait it out. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Crystal.
Good question, Crystal.
In case you don't read the chat, 6th graders are going to SciCon for a 4-day week. So May 2nd to the 5th. Okay. Anything else? No? Okay, well, if there's nothing else, we'll stay on for a little bit if you have a question. Otherwise, have a fantastic rest of your week. Email us, call us if you have a question. We are busy trying to get school started and going that, but we will get back to you eventually. So, and once again, if you want to come on campus and show your kids where the classroom is, this week is a good week. Saturday is phenomenal day to do it. Otherwise, Monday and Tuesday between 8 and 12 or after 3. Okay. Otherwise, you guys have a great evening. Who's having the best dinner? Whose house should we come over to eat dinner at? Is you raise your hand, Tracy? Okay. Tom, are you gonna barbecue?
50 junior high kids from church in my backyard having hot dogs. So come on.
Oh, no, thank you. Tom, are you barbecuing?
No, the junior high pastor is. I'm providing dessert. So if you want a brownie sundae in about an hour.
Oh,
come on.
Sounds good. Nikki, to answer your question, for 6th grade, the drop off is the sports complex and the pickup is the multi-purpose room.
Ooh, Megan, spaghetti pizza. Sounds interesting.
Cindy, I sent you an email with a bunch of questions regarding walkathon late this afternoon, so I'm sure you'll get
okay. I'll take a look at that, Tracy.
To the person that direct messaged me, I'm sorry it doesn't say your name on here. Yes, Mrs. Cunha is a new 2nd grade teacher.
Tracy, we will have walkathon. We also have our Harvest Carnival, pending that the state or federal government doesn't do anything crazy. And we can't promise that, but as of right now, that's what we're doing. What day does PTO meet? The first Tuesday of every month, except for a few months where we don't have Tuesday. So first Tuesday of every month. And they meet at 6, Cindy, 6 to 7.
Yeah,
right?
6 o'clock in the parent room, and we will be offering the Zoom option also for our meetings. This year.
Lisa Baseman, can you put the PTO remind info in the chat? If you have it readily available.
I think, did she log off?
Oh, she may have.
Yeah.
So we can do PTO meetings in person now?
Yep.
Yes, we're going to do them in person and then also offer the Zoom.
Fantastic.
Just so you guys know, I guess this is important. I'm not asking who was vaccinated and not who was not vaccinated. So the board's decision for mask goes for adults as well. Unless that changes I mean, you're more than welcome to wear a mask. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But you don't have to unless something changes. Okay. I mean, if we get into I don't know what would make it change. You know, super high numbers or too many numbers on campus of kids that are being having COVID, then that might change that. But for now, that applies to you guys too. Thank you, Cindy, for putting it in. First meeting, August 17th at 6 p.m.
Yeah, there are some months that it's not on the first Tuesday.
Look forward to seeing you, those of you that are coming Saturday. And even those kids, we see you. Even the kiddos that are coming. We have lots of things to do. So Chase is very excited about having you guys all out. And I'll break it to you. We are having Arsenio burritos for breakfast, which will be after you work. So if you've never had an Arsenio's burrito, they are very, very good. With, I think, fruit and some water or something. So.
Mrs. Gist, I have a question real quick.
Yes.
What grades go to lunch together? Is it 6th, 7th, 8th, or 7th and 8th?
6th, 7th, and 8th, and 3rd
They
through
all have
5th.
lunch at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And we'll eat outside as much as we can, as long as it's not too hot.
Oh, okay, great. And then the first few days, like you said earlier, don't send lunches since they get out early, just snacks, correct?
Right, and then they can do the grab and go lunch. So similar how we were doing it at the end of the year, they'll be offered a lunch that they can take home with them.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
They will be back into ag, music, drama, computer lab, library, art, all those will be back. And for middle school, so will electives.
When will they know what electives they got? Would it be the first day from their teachers, or how does that work? How will they?
Electives will start on Monday. So sometime Wednesday through Friday, the teachers will share their electives with them.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. You guys can, as we're just gonna stay around, and you guys can, as you guys don't have any questions, you go ahead and sign off, and we'll stay around for 5 more minutes to answer any questions. Or maybe we'll have the Dairy Dad entertain us.
Don't hold your breath, my friend.
I just can't believe you're still the Dairy Dad. I knew you when. Him and my son hung out together in kindergarten. Makes me old, Tyler, makes me old.
It's okay. I've got my own aches and pains.
I bet I enjoy your Dairy Dad.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. So I must have fallen asleep at some point. When we've got kids in the after school program and I've got a little one at the preschool, how do I pick up the after school kids?
If you're, when are you gonna pick them up?
3:30, 4
Yeah, you'll walk on campus and pick them up just like you normally would.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome.
To Nikki, yes, the first 3 days of school are extra early release. So TK through 3 will be dismissed at 12 noon, and 4 through 8 will be dismissed at 12:45. So that's even earlier than our regular early dismissal due to orientations.
Kiddos, you have any question? No? Okay. Chrislyn, nice ceiling. All right, you guys and ladies and gentlemen, kiddos, we will see you soon. Okay. Enjoy your last weekend before school starts.
We'll see some of you guys on Saturday.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye-bye.